Hello, people of God. This is my Jacob's Way TV, Dupi Dupi singer. How have you been? This is episode 60. Episode 60. I promised in episode 59 that I will start another interesting story and of how God brought the youths to the bush to meet me. Don't forget that the Lord had said to me, will you help me take care of youths? Would you help me rehabilitate youths? If you have been following, if you have not been following, I think you should go back and watch some of the other videos where you find a recording of how the events unfolded so far. So the Lord told me to start a Sunday service in the bush. If not that my children agreed to follow me, it will have probably been me, Paul and I, Paul, Azan and I, excuse me. It will have been Azan, Paul and I. My children followed me every week to the bush for service. There was this particular weekend that two of my children's cousins came visiting them from Ibadan. They were going to go back to Ibadan that Sunday. I haven't spent, maybe the whole week or the weekend. And I asked them to come with us to church and they obliged. So we have witnesses. As I started to preach that day, that God created everybody a king, and that God did not create anybody to be a lowly person. If you stand by what your own kingship is, you will excel, you will do well. If somebody is asked to sell, God says you will sell sand. And if you sell the sand so well, you will also become a king in the process of using the sand or selling the sand. So I went on telling them that for most people, they have not found out their geographical locations. That for you to be a king, you must find out your own geographical location, your kingdom. Your geographical location becomes your kingdom. As I was talking that day, three young men came in to the bush, saw us, and they took permission from me to go down the bush to either go and see somebody across the road or something. They were not going to disturb me, so I permitted them. Soon they were returning and they still met me preaching. As they were about to leave, I said, is there no Christian amongst you? One of them put up his hand and said he was a Christian. Another one put up his hand and said he was a Christian. I said, so what are you doing? Walking around at the time every Christian is in church. So one of them said, well, I've gone to church today. I said, I don't think you are saying the truth. You know, don't forget that it was not such a formal church. Because if it was so formal, I would not even have ventured to talk to them. So the one that first of all answered me asked me, is this a church? And I said, yes. And he said, can I join you? The third one, who had not answered me, was pulling him back, and saying, let's go. And he said, if this is church, let me stay. So the second one stayed with him and they sat down. And I just continued my sermon from where I stopped. And I was still saying, God created you a king. That there's no need for you to be walking around like a servant or behaving like servants. I said, if you find out your geographical location, that will be your kingdom, and then the subject matter that God wants to use for you to become a king. If God makes it known to you. For some people, it could be one kind of, you know, one type of science. The other person could be carpentry. The other person can be anything. As I spoke on, the first one that said, "Is this a church?" put up his hands and said, "Did you say that God created me a king?" I said, "Yes." He said, "But people call me a bad boy." Don't forget that the third person had gone. The third person did not wait. I said, "Well, God did not create bad boys. God created all of us as good people." I kept on talking. He asked again, put up his hand, said, "Excuse me, ma, are you serious? You are still saying that God created me a king? Me? Can I really be a king?" I said, "Yes, why not? Everybody is a king in the eyes of God. It's just that we walk away from God and we do not ask Him so many questions so that, eventually we can emerge what God has planned for us to be." I went on preaching, and the third time he put up his hand. Meanwhile, the second person that waited with him, this third time, pulled back his hand and was trying to restrain him. Was actually vehement about it. And this man, you know, forcefully took his hands off the other man that was restraining him and said to him, "Please leave me alone. This is between me and God. Leave me alone, and this is between me and God." And the other one did not have a choice but to leave him alone. And the young man looked at me and said, "I am ready. Please lead me to Christ." I was preaching. Ordinarily, we would have said, "Wait till the end of the service." But when the Lord is in something, I didn't, I was just happy that if a soul is saying, "Lead me to Christ," you have no excuse but to do the same. So I stopped preaching and I asked him to pray, and I told him what to say after me, and I led him to Christ. I don't even think we finished the service before they left. But before he left, he asked me, "Where can I find you again?" And I told him, "I come here every day." And he argued with me that it's not possible. "What do you mean? You come here every day? That's not possible. I know everywhere here. I've never seen you here before." I said, "But I come here every day. I've been coming here every day for the past 4 years." And he kept saying it's not possible. "I know all this place so well. I've not seen you before." Well, I didn't want to argue with him. But you will see the relevance of this argument later in the next episode. So he said, "Will I find you tomorrow?" I said, "Yes, why not?" He said, "Between what time and what time?" And I told him. And then, he left with the other guy, and the service went on like normal, and service ended like normal. Somebody had warned me before that I should not even call church service. I should call church service worship, because we go to worship the Lord. Service might sound like servitude, whatever that is. If I believe in that or I do not. So what happened after? Did the guy come the next day? Did he not? And if he came, what were the things that he said? This is getting very interesting. Even me myself, I'm looking forward to telling the story. Meanwhile, this is my Jacob's Way TV. I'm Dupi Dupi Singer, and please do not forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, and keep watching. Leave a comment if you want to, we will be glad, and also like. Thank you for watching, and please keep watching. I promise you that you will like the story of how this youth started coming to meet me in the bush, and how I suddenly found myself in the midst of 30 armed robbers. Thank you for watching. God bless you. I love you. Bye bye.